All right, the scene, the Rose Garden on the right, of course, you know that, the United States Capitol. Tomorrow, by the way, the president's going to be up at the United States Capitol trying to win over Republican senators. All 52 of them are going to be gathering to meet with him to discuss that tax cut package. The president is going to be pressing them to get together on the same page and get it done. He was telling our Maria Bartiromo sooner rather than later. He thinks even before Thanksgiving, let alone by Christmas. On the phone with us now is House Republican Conference Vice Chair, Congressman Doug Collins. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Do you think that's doable by Thanksgiving?
I think it's doable by the end of this year. I think Thanksgiving for the House, and we're working hard to, begin to put that process in place. And the Senate can be working on it at the same time. I think that's a key that we need to think about here. We have to get them the bill eventually through the constitutional process because we have to start it first. But if they can be working on this now, if we get this passed, and so that we have by the time Thanksgiving and December rolls, that we're well on our way to getting this thing passed.
Are you open to this new bracket, Congressman, one that would stay at 39.6%, presumably for richer folks, those we're told earning $1 million or more a year?
Well, I think what we've got to look at, that's always been a possibility, even in our framework. We were just not sure where the numbers may fit. It's not something that, many of us, would initially said that would be the best option, but I think there's some options that we have to look at here. And again, what we're looking at here is putting more money in more people's pockets. And again, the president is focused a great deal on the middle class. We're focused on the middle class. We're focused on the job creators as well. And I think this is something that we're looking at. But I believe that, as we look at it and we get fine-tune the details, I think there'll be some consensus found between the House and the Senate so that we can make this happen.
I noticed that a lot of these overtures are to Democrats more than other Republicans, even moderate Republicans, to try to entice some of them to vote for this package. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think the interesting thing for me is why would a Democrat not want to vote for a tax reform package? I mean, they have businesses and people in their district just like I have in mine, and they get up and they go to work, and they have families who could probably use extra money in their pocket each month to do the things and to make their dreams happen in their families. The families of Democrat districts and Republican districts, how they're represented, it does not change. I think the president understands that. And I think what we've got to do in the Congress is come to a solution that says, what are we doing best for the American people? And I would encourage Democrats to get on board with this and to see how this would actually help their companies and their families. Because at the end of the day, it's about, getting something that's fair and simpler for the American people. And I think the Democrats should be able to come on board with this. If they don't, then they can go home and explain why they would prefer their constituents to pay higher taxes.
But wouldn't that be a kick, Congressman, if all of these sort of allowances you've made, or not you specifically, sir, the party has made to get Democrats to vote for this or not find it to be too tilted to the rich, and not a one of them ends up voting for it?
Well, I think it'll be interesting for me because I'll be traveling the country next year explaining to the folks in their districts why they chose to vote against the American people and against small businesses and against the job creators in this country. I mean, I think it puts you in a terrible position to go back and explain that you think that the government needs to be funded at higher rates and be spending on a lot of the different programs that really, at the end of the day, we feel like it's better spent by the American people.
All right. So in the end, if you come up with a tax cut that gets a little bit watered down, but it doesn't make the deficit a whole lot worse, are you okay with that?
I think so. We've talked about this before. In fact, I remember you and I talking about this a few months back, and I think what we've got to do is we've got to balance the two parts we have to balance. Number one, we've got to also understand that growth in a tax reform package like we're talking about is going to occur. I mean, it's happened every time from Kennedy to Reagan and on forward. Every time we've done this, we have seen growth occur. So that is something that we have to take account of. But also, we haven't forgotten, at least I haven't forgotten, and we've talked about the fact that it's time for the Republican Congress also in our budgeting and also in our ways to start looking at our spending and our entitlement spending and also how we're dealing with our budgets overall. So I think when you take the balance of not only putting a tax reform package into place, but those of us who have not forgotten the fact that we should have been cutting spending more earlier on, those of us are still here, and we're going to continue to fight for that.
Congressman Collins, thanks for taking the time, sir. We appreciate it.